What if I told you that you can build your own ChatGPT with user accounts, chat history, and file uploads within 15 minutes? I'm going to do exactly this today. I'm going to make a call to some model API, but I'll give you a complete tutorial on how to build apps within 15 minutes. I'm going to use Antigravity with Insforge MCP, and by the end of the video, you'll see exactly how AI assisted development should be done. Quick context if you're new to MCP, like what is MCP? MCP stands for Model Context Protocol. It's the standard that lets AI tools connect to external services. Normally, what happens in a code editor like Antigravity or Cursor is that it just sees the code which you have written in that IDE. It writes the code, but it has no idea about the backend infrastructure that you have set up, backend databases you have set up, or your storage buckets or authorization. All of this you have to do it yourself. You end up with a code which looks right, but you have to test it yourself. You have to create all the things like databases yourself. I was amazed to see that Insforge solved this issue. So what they have provided is an MCP server that you can connect to your IDE like Antigravity or Cursor, and then these IDEs can directly create your databases. You just have to define in a prompt that create this kind of database or create this bucket in which you have to upload your files, or create authentication, and it will automatically connect to Insforge and it will create these for you automatically. So let's just directly dive in on how to use. The first thing is setting up Insforge plus MCP. First, you'll have to go to insforge.dev and create a free account. In this, let's create a new project. So when I create this new project, you'll get an API key and a base URL. Now next thing is we have to connect this to Antigravity. So first install the Insforge extension in your Antigravity like I'm showing on the screen. Once this is completely installed, go to Insforge and copy this command which you'll see to connect to your Cursor, Windsurf, Antigravity. I'm using Antigravity. Just copy paste this command and run it in your terminal. So now you can see that MCP tools are available in Antigravity. Database management, storage buckets, AI integrations, everything is available with Antigravity. Now you just have to prompt and Antigravity will be able to call the required tools to create or provision these resources. For building a website like ChatGPT, the first thing we have to do is build the database for the user, which the users can sign up, their conversation history can be stored, which can be easily retrieved. So the first thing which I do to Antigravity is just paste this prompt. Using Insforge, create the database schema for the AI chat application, and I define the complete users table, what the schema of this table will be like. And I also create a conversations table and I create a foreign key to link these. So I just copy paste this prompt and ask it to set up all the relations. What happens is, as you can see on the screen, Antigravity automatically calls the Insforge MCP tool, and it is now writing SQL for me, and it is also creating the tables. So you can see these tools being called create tables for users, create table for conversions. Now let's go to the Insforge dashboard and see if the tables are created. So you can see that there are 3 tables properly linked with foreign keys. So as you can see, you don't have to provision this. You just have to give the prompt. Now let's come to the second part, which is authentication. For authentication, you can add Google Auth, you can add email authentication. All of this you can add using again the same prompt. Insforge automatically provisions this for you. I'll just prompt Antigravity set up user authentication using Insforge. I need email and password sign up and show me how to protect routes. Only logged in users can access their content. Now you see the Antigravity incorporating this directly into your app. So it will create the complete sign-in flow, session management, token refresh, everything is handled. You don't have to take care of anything. Now let's see at the dashboard what it has created for authentication. So for authentication, you can see that there are various auth methods and the configurations also you can see here. Now let's come to part 3. Now this is the AI integration part. Now generally what you will have to do is go to some AI provider like OpenAI, or go to OpenRouter, or go to Claude and get their API key, pay for that, and then use that API key. Insforge removes all that hassle also. You can call OpenAI, Anthropic, all the models through their own SDK. So it handles the API keys securely through their secret manager, so you don't even have to take care of that. So I'll just prompt Antigravity, add AI chat functionality using Insforge. When the user sends a message, call the AI model and stream the response back. So I'll put this prompt and let's see what happens. As you can see, the code is being generated. So Insforge has a secret manager where it stores your API key. Your front end never sees the key, so you don't have to take care of the security issues which might. It completed everything. The AI integration, the streaming, the database save, everything is handled through SDK, and your API key stays secure. You don't have to take any extra action. Now let's go to the Insforge dashboard and see what it has created for the models. So you can see that this is a model gateway. It has all these models. You can select any model that you want from any provider, Anthropic, Google, OpenAI, and they just have everything. You don't have to configure anything. Let's add one more feature to it. In ChatGPT, you can see that you can upload an image, you can upload a file. So let's ask AI to build this functionality also. Users should be able to upload their file, PDF or images, and these are stored in some bucket. Insforge provides this functionality also to store this in there. So I'll just prompt to add file upload to converge conversations using Insforge storage. Users can upload PDFs or images, store in a file in a private bucket and include it in the AI context. You don't have to think about parsing this image, parsing this PDF file. Insforge handles everything. As you can see that the code is generated. Only authenticated users can access their own files, not anybody else. So the URL is stored with a message so that we can reference it. Now comes the final part, which is the front end. Build the UI. I'll just simply prompt Antigravity. Build a clean React front end for the AI chat app. Sidebar should show all the conversations like ChatGPT. Main area should have the chat conversations. Input box at the bottom with send button, upload file. Naming responses should appear word by word, which happens in ChatGPT or any other thing which you use. As you can see, it works and build exactly what it wants. Antigravity knows exactly what database columns are, and it creates the app and the UI automatically. It knows how to call the AI endpoint, which endpoints is there from which will be called from the UI. Everything is done. I didn't write a single line of code in this, and let's see what the final product is. So here's the finished app. So I'll sign up and create a new account. Now let's start a new conversation about explain how a database works. As you can see, the response is streaming in. This is hitting AI through the Insforge, and I refresh the page. You can see on the left bar, you can still see the conversations, and you can even do more conversation. All your conversations will be stored, and these are all stored in the database. Now let's try uploading a file in this. So I drop in a PDF and ask to summarize this document. And you can see that the AI can see the file and it can extract the information from that file. So when we upload this file, this is stored in the storage bucket created in Insforge. Let's see how that looks like in the Insforge dashboard. You can see in this dashboard, the files which I uploaded earlier also are there, and you didn't have to build any functionality. So this was completely like mind-blowing to me, because it is bridging that gap which is making you slow. Everything in AI is moving so fast. Even the end mile of it, which is creating these resources and then parsing logic, all the boilerplate code for accessing your resources which you create. But this is still on my local host. How do we deploy this? So Insforge provides this also. I will just ask Antigravity to use Insforge to deploy this, and let's see what happens. So as you see, Antigravity calls the Insforge MCP server and it finally gives this URL. Now let's see this URL open. The complete chatbot is now deployed. So our website just went live. Let's see the Insforge dashboard, what it has now. So in the deployments, you can see that the website has gone live. It gives us this domain. You can connect it to any domain which you want. You will have deployment logs and any environment variables that you want, and you can just simply access your website. So we went from nothing to a fully deployed website with just prompt. Now let's be real about what happened. We built a ChatGPT clone. Obviously this is far away from the polished result, and obviously this is not using actual model. This is calling an API key, but still it has user authentication. It has Postgres database with conversation history. It has secure AI integration with streaming. It has file storage and also extracting context from those files, and a clean React content. The best part, I didn't even write a single line of code in it. No setting up of any database, no setting up of any resources. Everything was done with Antigravity connected with MCP of Insforge. AI could actually work with real backend without guessing of what it will be, of what database it will be, what is the schema that you have created. This is, I think, the direction in which agentic coding is headed. Now, how to get started? So if you want to get this yourself, first, go to insforge.dev and create your account. Second, run the MCP installer like I just told you, and you will be set. Now, this is how I am building the projects. Whatever products which I have to build, I am using this workflow exactly. Now, the backend setup which we just did used to take one full day. Now it happens in minutes. I can now focus on the actual business logic without having to deal with these things like security, creating databases. AI can do that also. I'll link everything below in the description.